It's a good question about why this popularity, why this attraction to New York City still exists.
The sound of New York is the sound of the musicians that migrate there. America's best, great thinkers, you know.
The sound of New York, I think every city has a certain energy that comes along with it. But New York is a jungle. I think that's kind of what New York is. It's a jungle with a lot of different sounds going on at the same time, and it's bustling, it's boiling all the time.
I would say when I first came to New York, I discovered that I had a lot to learn and that I didn't have a particular sound and that I needed to get one to arrive at what myself is musically, whatever that is. What New York tells you is, it tells you all the things that you need to work on. So that's what I learned about coming to New York, and I knew I would. That's why I came.
The sound of New York for me, in words, would probably be something that's very dense and very busy, and something that sounds progressive, sounds like it's moving forward, because New York doesn't stand still, it doesn't hover. It's always in flux, it's always changing.
The sound of New York is so varied that it's hard to say that any one thing, you know? And it's represented in all the different clubs in New York, you know? There's a lot of mutual respect and everybody gets along, but also there's a lot of different groups of musicians in New York that really exist.
I'm a jazz musician. I'm a jazz bass player, or I love jazz. I knew New York was my destiny when I was like 15 or 16. When I started coming down to the city to go check out music at Smalls and different clubs and things like that, I knew that that's where I needed to be. But when I finally got here and had my first place here, I was like, I'm at home. This is where I'm gonna be for the rest of my life. I knew that immediately.
I always knew at some point, I've been playing since I was a child, when I made the conscious decision that this was going to be something that I was going to pursue as a career, but I think that's when the switch went off. Like, you have the talent, you just need to refine it, and you need to just apply yourself.
I was born in Caracas, Venezuela. I started taking piano lessons when I was 10, and I started playing music professionally when I was 12. So I was playing in this club from Monday to Saturdays. It was actually really good, basically like the main jazz club down there in Caracas. I knew that there was nothing else to do there. You know, I just don't want to be the big fish in a small tank. And I left Venezuela when I was 22. 1, 2,
After the birth of Mimi Jones, I feel like that was a doorway that opened for me to actually begin to do all the things that I wanted to do.
This is why I have pictures of people like this around my house as a reminder that no one can define you. Society doesn't define who you are. You gotta be strong. At the end of my time, when I look back at my life, what am I going to be proud of? Fundamentally, I'm most inspired by the benefits of empathy. It's bigger than music, it's bigger than art. Empathy is at the heart of what I think is the solution to most problems. I think the solution begins first by understanding what's happening around you.
When I finished university, I moved to New York, and I just felt like I wasn't necessarily growing a lot, but I wanted to play. Creativity is my strength and my goal. So I'm not the type of artist or trumpet player that you would hire to do something very consistently or something very repetitively. If you need me to be creative every night in a different way, that's why I'm in music. To constantly create in the moment. I never want to do anything the same way. You know, to always kind of reflect on the present moment.
I do know that there is an amazing crop of young musicians that have come along who are very serious about jazz and about moving the music forward, keeping the tradition alive, but bringing something new to it.